Hello, my name is Glubbers, and I am a Zelda speedrunner. I'm going to be doing Wind Waker any percent no manual super swim. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but I'm going to pass it off to my commentator, Jim, here, and then we'll get the run started because we have a pretty long cutscene to watch.
Hello. And the run is starting.
That is... Whoops.
Oh, never mind. The run is not starting.
The run will...
Glubbers may have accidentally pressed the start button without a countdown being had. But that's okay.
That is true. We can set right back up. All right.
Shoutouts to soft resetting.
And now we'll pass it off to the countdown.
All right, and Glubbers will begin the run in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
That time I got to hit the button on the correct time.
Let's go.
Yep, second try, timer start. The most important trick of the run. Yeah, like I said, my name is Glubbers. I do a lot of Zelda speedruns, almost primarily 3D Zelda speedruns, and we'll be doing Wind Waker any percent no manual super swim, which is a fun and different category than just any percent. Like the name suggests, it bans the manual super swim, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. There's a lot of routing implications that it has on what exactly it doesn't allow for. We're going to be sitting in this long cutscene for a little bit, so we'll talk about what that is. But manual super swim is basically a trick where we can skip the outset sequence at first and run straight to Dragon Roost Island, grab the Wind Waker, and we can shoot off and go and do the run. Instead, we're going to have to do the outset sequence, and because we won't be doing any sequence breaking of the flags, we have a couple of implications on the routing there. The other major thing that we ban is Puppet Ganon skip at the end of the run, and those two things together, we're going to see a lot of these different routing choices from what you would see in an any percent speedrun, just because we have to go around having Forsaken Fortress right when it's intended instead of doing it semi-arbitrarily, having to grab the quiver, do a bunch of stuff like that. But anyways, I have with me the wonderful Gymnast86. Take it away, Jim. Just introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Gymnast86. I do the Zelda speedruns. I've sometimes ran Wind Waker. Been a while since I've run any percent no MSS, but I also agree it's a fun category. The main purpose of the any percent no MSS category is sort of to act as like an introductory or beginner category of sorts, because as Glubbers mentioned, the regular any percent category is very difficult, and more specifically starts off with a very difficult trick that takes a really long time to learn how to do, and is not really recommended for your, the very first thing you learn for Wind Waker speedrunning. So the any percent no manual super swim category was created to act as a better introduction for speedrunning the game.
Yeah, that's kind of why we banned Puppet Ganon skip as well. That is historically a pretty hard trick. That is no longer really the case as of just a few weeks ago. And
yeah.
So there's a couple of things to go with that. For one, we will be using this wonderful orange Game Boy Advance for the Tingle Tuner. We won't be doing Puppet Ganon skip in this run. Like I mentioned, it's banned, but it will give us some very nice circumstances for the end of the run. The previous end of the run was very filled with RNG and randomly trying to shoot a fire arrow through the floor to expose a pot. We'll no longer have to deal with that. And it has a lot more routing implications for basically every category. And one of the nicest things that it did, we'll talk about exactly what it does a little while down the road, but it trivialized Puppet Ganon skip to the point where, as a community, there's likely going to be discussion on whether it should stay banned in this category. So this may be the last time that we see this category with this exact rule set. So that's a little bit of fun there. We're nearly through this long cutscene. There's about 5 minutes and 10 seconds before you get control of Link from the very beginning of the run. And when we actually spawn on Outset here, we've only got about a minute and a half left. Now, we're going to be going through the Outset sequence, which is the beginning of the game, the tutorial island, and yeah, basically it's just going to be going around, getting a bunch of different things, progressing the story through Outset as quickly as possible, because we don't want to be stuck here. And while we can escape, this is the category that bans that escape. So...
Yep. For like regular speedrun attempts of the game, the community does allow for various methods of skipping the intro cutscene. But because this is a marathon run, we will not be seeing any of those. If you want to see those, you should get into Wind Waker speedrunning. Then you too can skip the intro.
Yeah, it's very fun. My timer starts at a seemingly arbitrary time of 3 minutes, 38 seconds, and like 19 milliseconds.
Yeah, nice backflip.
Yeah, those are
sick.
Sick backflip. We'll be seeing a few of those. We're gonna see so many sick backflips. I can only name at least one more. So we're gonna just head over to Grandma here, because, you know, you always gotta go see Grandma whenever you can.
Yep. Perk of this category, you get to see Grandma. You don't get to do that in regular any percent.
Exactly. And you have to do regular any percent in your pajamas, which... I don't know how you feel about that, but I kind of prefer it. I like the, like, cool blue of Link's pajamas here. For some reason, he was sleeping on the watchtower.
Yeah, I would say that as far as the two get-ups go, I prefer the pajamas over the tunic.
So, Grandma was nice enough to remind us that it's our birthday, which means that we get to dress up like a, as Tetra will put it, fairy boy.
We have to do our Ocarina of Time cosplay.
Yep. Because this game is nothing but Ocarina of Time fanboy, the video game. Actually, this game is nothing like Ocarina of Time.
No, this game is nothing like Ocarina of Time. They are referencing Ocarina of Time in some capacity, though.
Yeah, they are.
Something Zelda timeline. I don't know.
Yeah, and speaking of the Zelda timeline, I'm not sure if you noticed that, so there's another sick backflip.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
But there was that recent post that they had about the Zelda timeline come out semi-recently, like just before Echoes of Wisdom. And to me, that was really funny because it came out while they were shoving a bunch of promotional material for Echoes of Wisdom, and it didn't include Echoes of Wisdom on it.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was a semi-updated Zelda timeline just to specify that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are their own thing.
Right.
So we're gonna take a look at the mailman here, because the mailman is this is a really odd sequence, just odd. So it's our birthday, and our sister Errol sees that and says, "I got you a present. You can borrow this." So we borrow the telescope, and then she basically insists that we look through the telescope at the mailman. I don't get it, but it's how you progress the story, and that's what I'm here to do. So,
I mean, Errol is like, what, 7 years old?
Yeah, probably.
Something like that.
She's
You know, it's a kind gesture.
It is. It always gets me that it's, you can borrow this for your birthday.
Right. you can borrow this and then I need it back. Of course, plot twist, we're not going to give it back.
Oh no, something will happen that makes us unable to give it back to Errol. It might be related to that mysterious girl that fell into the woods. But first I'm going to go to
fun fact, Yeah, fun fact about the scene where the Helmrock King goes down. If you move the camera in free cam mode and watch that cutscene from a different angle, the cannonball that supposedly hits the Helmrock King just misses. It doesn't make contact. It's just because of the camera angle that it looks like it does.
It's interesting.
Glubbers is doing some sword fighting now. There's actually a bit of a trick to the sword fighting here. You want to move the control stick in various directions to get the fastest slash combos on Orca here. And we also got a interesting piece of tech that can potentially save a few seconds called the quick parry, which Glubbers is going to do after the quick spins here. If he manages to get the parry on one of the first 2 frames of the parry prompt there, the second one will appear immediately. Very nice. And that skips having to wait for the second parry to appear.
Yeah, that was really nice. I have a weird trend to getting the early frame where I end up getting the glitch, but I smack into Orca there. And it's a little bit slower. I don't know if that actually saves time over just not getting the glitch, but it's at least cool to see.
Yeah, I don't believe that saves time over just like not getting it at all. But not a huge deal one way or the other.
No. All right, and now we're off to go and save that mysterious girl, whoever she could be.
Yeah, so we need the sword to get past the trees up here. There's actually an invisible wall that the game puts behind these trees until you have a sword. So the game is extra protected against you trying to sequence break and get up here early.
The game has a large habit of doing that, doesn't it? Having an invisible wall behind some barrier to prevent you. I wasn't even thinking about the barrier until I said the word barrier. I was thinking about at a Thorn Fairy.
Oh yeah, same thing applies for the vines that are featured in this game in a lot of places. And so we're gonna do a neat little trick here where we quick spin the log to get the red rupee that's inside, which works because the sword hitbox then hits the red rupee, and oh, nice damage boost! Congratulations. So yeah, the sword hitbox manages to hit the rupee inside. We also want a little bit more than 20 rupees, so Glubbers is clearing out some of the grass here to pick up some green rupees on our way to the Bokoblin fight. And so it's one of the Bokoblins down. This one is annoyingly not facing us. Ideally for combat, we want to do basically just repetitive slashes that are slow enough to not cause a combo until the enemy is 2 hits from death, and then we do a quick spin. Because repeatedly doing single hits is faster than knocking the enemy down and waiting for it to come back up. For some reason, Wind Waker enemies take forever to become vulnerable again once they're hit down to the ground.
Yeah, the game has an interesting tendency to make enemies invulnerable, and we'll see that a few times. But not so much really going on right now. We're just going to wrap up this cutscene and then wrap up Outset so we can pass it off to Mr. Game & Shout if we have any donations to read.
I've absolutely got you covered. Let's start with a $5 donation in from Tomomodachi. Let's go Flubbers.
Hi, Momo.
Also had a $5 donation in from Donutmancer. Hyped to see The Legend of Shout, the Donut Waker. Wait, I mean The Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker. Donation goes to Pantsless because in this run we donut need pants.
You know, I can definitely appreciate a fellow fan of donuts. My hot hands that I use on my oven is this little mat that says I donut care, and I would absolutely run the Donut Waker if that were a game, so.
Perfect.
We've got time for a couple more.
Let's take a $5 donation from Alarmo. Wind! Hey, Wind! Wake up! And I think somebody in chat was concerned about that tall grass they saw you walking through. $7 donation here from Ian Stouffer, donating 7 for Squirtle, the underrated Kanto starter.
Ooh, That sounds like somebody who went to a school that I did not go to. Squirtle was not the underrated starter for me. Oh, that was absolutely Bulbasaur. It was more likely to be in the tall grass, I'll have you know. Squirtle would be in the giant ocean right there. So, as we're getting into the final bits of Outset here, we're just gonna have an argument where the mailman is on our side, and as we all know, the mailman is the best person to have on your side in an argument because he delivers the mail. You don't want to have that restricted from you. Not even the pirates do. Tetra here is the girl that we saved, and no spoilers as to who she might be, but she's kind of opposed to us going along with her to go and save Errol, our sister, who just got kidnapped. And, yeah. He has agreed to take us along if we go and get a shield. So I'm going to go for something here that we're going to pretend like I didn't say I was going to go for a strat there, and I just jump attack onto a post there.
You jump attack against those trees in a specific way. You can completely clear the post with the jump attack, which is very slightly faster. Also, nice sick backflip.
Yep, it's the sick backflip into an emotional cutscene where Grandma is sad to see us go. So remember, if you're ever going to go to your grandma's and you're not going to see her for a while, backflip before you talk to her. It's pretty sick.
Please only backflip if you have practiced backflipping, though. Do not just chuck a backflip if you've never done it.
And if you don't know how to backflip, you probably have time before the next time that you're going to see your grandmother, if I had to wager a guess. You know, maybe it's not true for everybody, but hey, maybe learn how to backflip so that you can do exactly that.
And then you might get a cool looking shield out of it.
Yeah. You never know what your grandma has in store. She might have a shield for you. I think this shield is pretty cool looking. I hope that we get to keep it for the entire game. And that wraps up the Outset sequence, as we can tell by this giant gong. That is what makes us know that Outset is over. So we're heading on into the Forsaken Fortress 1 sequence of the run, which is going to be a fun little stealth mission. We're going to play some Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Link. But first we're going to do a couple of things. We have this cutscene where they're saying goodbye to us, and we're going to get to jump across some ropes, because rope physics are absolutely a thing in this video game, and I love them. I don't really know what else to say about that, but
yeah,
this is.
I would say the rope physics in this game are actually better than they are in the HD remake somehow. I don't know what they did, but they made them even worse.
How wonderful! Well, at the very least, in the HD remake, you get to control the camera free of stopping. So you have at least that going for you, because for some reason, if you want to readjust yourself in the SD version, the GameCube version, you have to stop the rope, which is fun.
Yep. Also, I guess in case it was not said at this point, Glubbers is playing on the Japanese version, in case you didn't notice. There are Japanese characters on screen here. Japanese saves a couple minutes in this category. The Japanese text is basically just always the fastest text compared to any other language for this game.
The text scrolling is just, and that's a relatively common thing. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with that. That when you have something that renders by the character, not the text box, the text rendering by the character, usually Japanese is among the fastest, if not the fastest. Now,
yeah, interestingly, this game, the name that you put in for your character does not actually change how long the text is, because whenever the game renders your character name, it always does so in one frame. All right. And we do the infamous ropes.
No, we can't.
Oh.
Aw. So Nico is telling us that we are not.
We have a skill issue.
Yeah, we have a skill issue. Exactly. Well, I think I can do this without resetting the timer. I think that I can do that and make it. What do you think?
I think you can too. Oh, okay.
That was
a little sketchy on that last one.
Yeah. But we did it just fine. Nico is a little bit confused as to how we successfully did that so quickly, which I don't think he remembers that we fell.
Apparently it took him a whole year to do it, according to the text.
Ah.
You did it in much less than a year, which is why he's impressed.
This is true. Last I knew, a year did not last about 25 seconds. They might have changed that. We don't know how the time passes in this world. All right, we are almost to Forsaken Fortress. The beginning of this run is relatively cutscene heavy, and that is a result of not doing the manual super swim. But we can put the camera behind Link here and see a wonderful pole. I'm sure everybody in chat is a fan of the pole.
Yeah, so right now during this cutscene, Glubbers wants to make sure that he actually gets through the cutscene as fast as he can, not just because it's a speed run, but because there's actually some lights that are moving in the background here in Forsaken Fortress, and we're not going to be reloading the area at all before we get control of Link. So depending on how fast Glubbers walked around the pole and climbed the ladder and gets through the text in this cutscene is going to determine where the lights are and how they're moving across the courtyard when he actually gets control of Link. So you do want to make sure that you get through this cutscene relatively quickly.
Yep, and this is also it's kind of a fan favorite cutscene because Tetra's wonderful idea here to get Link into the Forsaken Fortress that's so well guarded is to catapult him in a barrel, which not really a winner idea, but it works. And while we go through this sequence of Link getting catapulted, let's pass it off to Mr. Game Shout real quick.
Got you covered. Let's go with a $50 donation here from T-Trom. Here's $50 during my favorite Zelda game on my favorite speedrun charity channel. Love you, GDQ. Thanks for putting this together for hurricane relief. Keep on keeping on.
Oh, definitely. This is a very important event to have going on. The relief out of Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. There is some very, very rough damage out there if you haven't seen it. This is absolutely all going to a good cause. I've seen some of the damage, not firsthand, luckily. I work remotely, but I do see some of the damage that Hurricane Milton caused through my job. And know that if you do donate, it is going to a very good cause and towards some very good relief. So thank you all. And coming up here is that light cycle that Jim was talking about. Now, I kind of want more money. We're looking to have quite a few rupees in this, but if I hit the right cycle, then this is absolutely safe for me to just follow this light, go around it, and skirt right on by. And coming up here is a neat little trick called the window jump, where we're going to jump and we're in a window. That one is a pretty self-explanatory trick. If you stand in a slightly precise position there, you can jump into the window and get right over here. Now, what we're even doing up here in Forsaken Fortress is we need to turn off only one searchlight, that one right there. And to do that, we need to defeat the Bokoblin that's operating it. So this here is, I've taken to calling him Craig. We're gonna knock Craig off the edge.
Good, I've never heard that before.
I don't remember who called him Craig originally. It is not from me, and I definitely appreciated hearing that he had a name. But if we knock him right off the edge there, then he luckily vanishes and will no longer be an issue for us.
Yeah, if an enemy falls from too great a height, they will just die. So, thankfully, most of the time, also... Okay, you're not going to do the sidle. There's a silly little sidle trick you can do there, but...
We'll see that trick a little later. That sidle there, I didn't have a good angle for it, unfortunately, and at least what I'm used to.
Oh, that's true. Makes sense. And so now Glubbers picked up and then put down the barrel here in Forsaken Fortress. And that might seem a little counterintuitive because if you put down the barrel, you must obviously not be hidden anymore, right? But it actually turns out that when you take off the barrel, you still have the effects of the barrel applied to you for a couple more seconds. I guess maybe when Nintendo was conducting playtests for this game, they maybe had players like taking off the barrel and then instantly getting caught or something like that, so they seem to have extended the barrel effect timer for just those few more seconds, which is why you can then just place down the barrel and then roll past the moblins instead.
Yep, and you can see that just there on that outside moblin there, where I was very clearly maybe like 5 feet in front of his face, directly rolling right by him, and he did not see me. It's a nice little bit of tech that you can do there. So sidling is, for some reason, the most complicated thing in the Wind Waker.
Yeah, that's actually not too far off.
You can speed up the actual sidling animation a little bit, but for some reason it's extremely complicated, and I'm going to leave it at we can speed it up. I may or may not be doing it well right now.
Yeah, I mean, you probably saved like 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Do that. Nice backflip. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Glubbers was trying to skip the animation of Link holding up the item there. If he was able to side hop into the sword to pick it up, the animation would have been skipped and would have saved like a second.
The camera, for some reason, did not want to settle behind Link, or even remotely close to behind Link, so, yeah. Unfortunately, it's only about a second, it's not a big deal, but we did get to see the sword. Now, the idea behind what's going on here is Ganondorf is trying to... Oh, spoilers, we haven't met him yet. The giant bird man is collecting these girls for an unknown reason. Basically, Ganondorf is trying to find Zelda, and so he goes around collecting girls and is going to try and figure out if they are Zelda, because his Triforce of Power will react to her Triforce of Wisdom. And the Helmarok King has decided that we are worth taking to him. So we'll get to see the first little bit of the big bad in just a moment here. And while he decides our fate, I guess, I'll pass it back off to Mr. Game & Shout for a couple of donations.
Happy to help. Let's take a $50 donation here from Mega Wacky Max. A good friend of mine lives in Florida and went through Milton. Thankfully, she's okay, but I know many people in her area have it rough. I'm terribly glad for her safety, and I wish to share my relief by donating to a relief cause. And what better way to do it than during the Wind Waker run, one of my favorite Zelda games. Thank you for all your work, and let's speed run that relief work.
Yeah, definitely. Like I mentioned before, my job works... I work remotely, luckily, but I work directly with people who were affected by Hurricane Milton because they live exactly in the path. That's how my job operates in that area, and it was scary. Luckily, everyone that I know is okay too. But there has been some serious destruction, not just from the hurricanes, not just from any of that, but there were also, as a result of the storm, adverse conditions caused some tornadoes to go through Florida in areas that don't normally get that kind of destruction, and people were without power, people were without any communications for a couple of days. It's scary. And scary like this guy here, who's in a ball of flames. We've got time for a couple more before we get on to Windfall here.
Sounds good. I've got $25 from MK. Just got back from Canadian Thanksgiving in time to donate to a great cause. Loving all the Zelda on the schedule. Thanks to the runners and crew for hosting this great event. And some more international support coming in, $15 from Nerdy Bonbon. I only have a little to help those who are going through these difficult times, but much love and support from Australia. Thank you, Nerdy Bonbon. Every bit that you are sending in with your donation is going straight to direct relief, so please keep them coming. Every bit helps.
Absolutely. Every little bit. If you can spare anything, absolutely spare what you can. If you can't, that's okay. Don't be breaking the bank over this sort of thing. There are those who can and those who can't. And that is okay. So here we're going to be grabbing a ton of rupees. A little bit more than what Jim would probably be used to for this category, because we're going to be doing those strategies for Puppet Ganon later, or after Puppet Ganon, actually. But we needed to get at least 80 rupees to gather the sail. We do need more than just that. I actually want to end up with another 20 rupees total. So I currently have 7, but once we have all of those, we will be good to go for the rest of the run. So, but now we are off to Dragon Roost Island. And when we actually get to Dragon Roost Island, we're going to be having some, a lot more glitches than what we've seen so far. The run so far has basically been glitchless, but we will ramp it up in the glitchiness here in just a moment. I will give a little bit of a forewarning. There is a minor photosensitivity warning with some of the tricks in this run, so please be aware of that if you are sensitive to that sort of thing. There will be quite a bit of this run where there are intermittent photosensitivity warnings coming in and out. Not quite up yet, but keep your eyes and ears peeled. I will give a quick warning when we get there. So we're going to be playing this barrel minigame where there's rupees spawning, and that's exactly for getting the 20 rupees that I mentioned before. If I can just get another blue rupee, then I will be good for the rest of the run. If I don't get another blue rupee, it's not the biggest deal in the world. There are plenty of other places to get the rupees, but having them out of the way as soon as possible makes it so I don't have to go out of my way for them. Although I don't think I'll be able to get another 5 off of another instance of the barrel minigame. There is. I might be able to get this one before it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. 17. That's okay. We can grab some just here in a second. So, Jim, do you want to explain all of the glitches that we'll be doing here in just a moment?
Yeah, so we're, so far for the first half hour of the run, things have been pretty easy to follow. Things are going to get not so easy to follow once this cutscene is over and King of Red Lion stops eating the Wind Waker and gives it to us. So the Wind Waker allows us to perform this really fun glitch called storage. Storage is very useful. You can use it for many things. The immediate thing that we're going to see it used for here is a super swim. This is not a manual super swim like the category bans. This is a regular super swim that is significantly easier to pull off, but still kind of tricky. Just does not require pausing the game frame perfectly like 250 times. So what Glubbers is going to do once this cutscene is over is he's going to go over to a ledge where a boulder is, and he's going to specifically climb up in a spot that will turn him around when he pulls out the Wind Waker to cause a Wind Waker dive. He's going to attempt to cancel the Wind Waker 3 frames before he hits the ground, which is going to keep the B button out on screen. It's going to be a little hard to notice, but he got it right there. So now with storage, he's going to store the King of Red Lion's text and attempt to get storage again. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to get storage both to start a super swim and then cancel text, which will re-give us back storage. because we are going to go and get a different effect from storage called chest storage. Also, this is the photosensitive part, so we'll tell you when the photosensitive part is over if you would like to look away from the screen. It's going to go on for a little bit here. But so basically, Glubbers is doing a super swim now. He's pretty much just abusing the storage for the camera lock that he's doing to turn around in the water every single frame and gain a bunch of negative speed. Using that speed to go over to Crescent Moon Island here, which has a chest at it that he's going to be getting chest storage at. Now, the controls get a little funky on land when you do camera lock like this. He also has to be sure that he does not accidentally touch the blue chews here. All right, very good. And now, so everything went dark. That is because he stored the action of opening up the one chest here on Crescent Moon Island. Thankfully, we can still kind of see where we are using the map, and when we exit this specific sector of the ocean, the lights will turn back on for us. So vision is not really too much of an issue once we get out of here. But basically, Glubbers is attempting to take the chest storage that he has here, and he is going to try and go all the way to Outset Island with it if possible. He does want to make sure that he gets an air refill here, though, so he's going to be going up against the what's it called? The platform here. All right, very nice. With chest storage, if you just touch the pole of the platform, you will re-get an air refill. It's also very important that Glubbers does not drown during this. The ocean is actually in a bit of a special state right now, where the pirate ship on Outset Island that's there at the beginning of the game is actually still there. So Glubbers is going to be super swimming all the way down to the bottom of the ocean, or to the south side of the ocean, I should say, where Outset is. And he's going to be attempting to use the chest storage that he has to climb into the pirate ship that's here. And the reason he can do that is because storing a chest will actually change the collision properties that apply to Link at the moment. So only a few collision properties are being applied to Link, which normally happens whenever he opens a chest, but then the game gives them back when you close the chest. And so that allows you to get onto the pirate ship right here. Also, the photosensitive stuff has stopped. If you were looking away, you can look back now. And so we can just kind of climb up the edge of the pirate ship, enter into the pirate ship, and now we can get bombs and I can stop talking.
Thank you, Jim, for that explanation of everything that we were doing. Yeah, so storage is a very, very powerful glitch. We'll use it for a lot of the run. Surprisingly, there's going to be a point where we stop doing storage in the run, but it's kind of the most powerful thing for us to use in the overworld and usually in dungeons, but after we get down to Hyrule, we're actually just not going to do storage anymore. There's plenty of other things that we can do to get around. There are applications to it, just not relevant to this run. Now, you remember those ropes that we were talking about earlier? Well, Nico decided, I had to make it harder. It took me a year to do the other one, so I took away the platform, and I guess somehow he figured this one out a lot faster. Which, good for him. We're going to do a little bit of a trick here where we can grab the rope or let go of the rope and grab it again all at once, because basically as I come forward here, I let go of the rope and projected backwards and then immediately grab it again. So I'm able to get a little boost in momentum. So what you would normally have to do if you were just playing casually is wait an entire cycle. You swing forward, you swing back. That skips doing that swinging forward and swinging back. So we can just jump right on over to the next rope or to the end platform there like we did.
Yeah, so normally to get bombs, you first have to go to Great Fish Island to trigger a specific state of the ocean called Endless Night, which puts the pirate ship at Windfall Island. But because there just happens to be this other pirate ship here at Outset Island, we just kind of decided to use it instead, and it's faster to do this instead of making it Endless Night to get the pirate ship at Windfall anyway.
Yep. And because the pirate ship was at Windfall when we get the bombs, the game thinks that we're at Windfall. So hello again, Windfall. This is no longer Outset.
Yep.
Now I'm going to grab this because I didn't get the rupees earlier. But we're going to go and say hello to everybody's favorite fairy, Tingle. Tingle has been locked in prison for thievery?
Yes, he stole the Picto Box.
Right, he stole
and was imprisoned for stealing the Picto Box.
And he hid the Picto Box in his cell. Luckily, we do not need the Picto Box, so I will not be going and grabbing it, although I guess we could go take a picture of something if we were really so inclined. However, I'm not. I'm more inclined to getting this Game Boy Advance that he just gave us. Sorry, Tingle Tuner that he just gave us. It is legally distinct, even though it doesn't really need to be from a Game Boy Advance. And he also will give us this map so we can go and find him on his island. The reason that we got that tuner is what we'll see at the end of the run. So basically what we can do with the tuner is it can do a few things for us. We can plant a bomb, that we can heal ourselves, give ourselves magic, use an air balloon, which is a fun one to explain, and there's a ton of different applications for it. We'll only really want to be healed, and we can explain exactly why here in a moment, because we are on our way to get the leaf. Now, you might be wondering, also photosensitivity warning coming up here. After I get storage again. So the nice thing about text storage is if you run out of the text, you don't actually lose storage, so you can try it basically infinitely as long as you don't trigger an NPC to actually eat the text box. You can just continue retrying it, which is very nice.
Yeah, so this time, the reason that we got storage again while super swimming is because we're going to be going to Forest Haven, which is where the leaf is. But there is a cutscene that surrounds Forest Haven, where, you know, normally King of Red Lions, like, you just approach in this nice cinematic cutscene, and King of Red Lions is like, hey, look, it's Forest Haven. But the problem is that if we tried to just super swim there without storage, the locked camera that we have in front of Link would soft lock the cutscene. So we actually need to store the cutscene so that we don't soft lock when we get here to Forest Haven, to just actually proceed forward. Otherwise, we'd have to get here manually with the boat, which the game actually would not allow at the moment, because we have not beaten the first dungeon, which unlocks this part of the ocean for us. Alright, so to get inside Forest Haven, Glubbers is going to be doing a ledge clip with a bomb here. Very nice. Ledge clipping is useful in a bunch of different scenarios. We'll see another important ledge clip. Or actually, no, you're doing roll clip for trial skip, not ledge clip. Nobody does ledge clip trial skip anymore.
There are a few people that
do. Yeah, so now we're also damaging down. Glubbers is going to be doing a trick that requires being at 0 health here in a moment. And the fastest way to damage down is through this octo right here. Yeah, so that ledge clip just allowed Glubbers to get up to Forest Haven quicker by taking the body of water that comes out of Forest Haven up to the entrance area.
Yeah, and it also allowed us to skip using the grapple that I do not have the grappling hook to get up there to begin with. Now, you may be asking, well, how am I going to get the leaf if I don't have the grappling hook? Because, sure, I got in here just fine, but I also need the grappling hook in here to get up to the leaf. We're going to be doing something interesting. First, we're going to do a trick that's going to hopefully skip a cutscene if everything goes well. But we're going to be doing an interesting little trick that we'll talk about in just a moment. First, we're just going to grab storage here, if you would please, game. We're actually going to get double storage here because, or not really double storage, but we're going to get storage twice. Because first we want to store the cutscene of the Deku Tree knocking the chews off. It puts them in this weird state where they are kind of frozen here. You see that? And what that lets me do is push them out of bounds like that.
Yep. And when an enemy falls far enough out of bounds, it is considered dead. So Glubbers is attempting to do the Deku Tree cutscene skip here. Basically, he's going to attempt to start the fade out for the cutscene of the Deku Tree beginning with storage. And because he has storage, he will still have control of Link while the fade out happens. And he's going to attempt to get crushed by the Deku Tree's chin to trigger a void out while that happens. So we got the last shoe here that we're going to push out of bounds. Glubbers has to specifically watch the Deku Tree's head movement cycle here to know when to push the last shoe out of bounds. And then he's counting the number of bobs that the head is doing and is going to try and get crushed under it at the just proper time. And unfortunately was a little too late with going forward there, so we didn't actually get the crush for the void out.
Yeah, not quite. That is a pretty specific trick to get. Now, it doesn't really break anything to not get the trick. We just kind of have to watch this cutscene where the Deku Tree basically asks what we're doing here and sends us to Forbidden Woods, giving us the leaf to get over there. And while we watch this minute and a half-ish long cutscene, we'll pass it over to Mr. Game and Shout.
Fantastic. I have $100 here from Lord ChaoticAce. I love these usernames. 1 orange rupee for direct relief.
Well, thank you.
Also got a bunch of donations here with no comment. We had $100 in from Anonymous with no comment, $15 in from Anonymous with no comment, $10 in from Vegetable Killer with no comment, $25 from Marissa with no comment, $50 from Anonymous with no comment, and $100 from DJ Crab Hat with no comment. But thank you so much for that donation.
Wow. I have no comment.
Well stated.
We got a little bit longer still in the cutscene.
Also got a $20 donation here from Marty D. Get those pants out of here. And just as a reminder, with your donation, gamesdonequick.com/donate, scroll down to the bottom of the page, click on the add incentives links. We have 2 incentives open for the Octopath Traveler run up next. We've got 1 incentive open to determine whether the characters, not the runners, are going to wear pants during Suit of Regalia after that, and the costume choice incentive for Dead Rising a little bit later in the marathon.
Yeah, if you guys aren't aware, pants are slow, so let's have No Pants win that, please.
No Pants is way ahead. The viewers have strong opinions about pants.
Glad to hear it. We're all at home. We should all have the same opinion.
All right, so now Glubbers is damaging down some more and is going to be performing a trick known as a zombie hover here. So basically, when Link dies in this game, there's actually a few frames that you have as he gets up where you can actually perform a jump attack input. So Glubbers performed the jump attack input and then began performing even more jump attacks, because when you perform the jump attack input when you're dead, you jump attack for 1 frame and the game is like, wait a minute, you're dead, and it cancels the jump attack, which then allows you to jump attack again, and so you can kind of just keep jump attacking over and over again while you're dead to perform this trick called zombie hovering. You'll also notice on the camera that Glubbers is doing the 2-thumb mashing method. This is an especially difficult zombie hover because it goes on for a really long time and requires really good mashing. The Glubbers is taking a few breaks here.
Trying to get my rhythm here, which I caused a little bit of difficulty in the beginning of the hover and did myself no favors, and it looks like I might have to, it looks like I'm going to have to retry that. We're just going to save work real quick.
A little too far to the left.
So the idea of that hover is basically, before I get on the tree, I want to get as much height as I can. I want to, because of that, I will be gliding along the tree, and I want to minimize the amount of time that I'm doing that, because Link will be moving to the left or right while doing that, and we want him to stay on the tree. If he stays on the tree, then we are in the clear. We can get up to the leaf. Now, it's not the easiest to do that per se, because it's constantly trying to push us off, and we need to keep up our mashing to get it to not completely knock us off. It will always bias to one side, though, so unfortunately my mashing at the beginning was not super great. We'll just do that again. It's no big deal. This time we're going to damage down to a quarter heart because we don't need to do anything with the choose anymore. We've already watched that cutscene. We can go straight back into mashing. So...
Yeah, and the specific setup here that he's doing with the targeting and then the backflips is because you do need a pretty precise angle for this trick to work, to glide along the tree correctly, because you have to go up really high for this zombie. Higher than you would be able to do just going in a straight line, like from a specific position, so you have to go up against the Deku tree here to be able to get up high enough to get to where the leaf is. And unfortunately, Glubbers is not able to heal inside this area. He does have the Tingle Tuner, but the Tingle Tuner does not work in this area, so he cannot use it here because this area does not have a mini-map.
All right. But that was also not a great attempt, unfortunately. We will get up there. It seems I'm having a little bit of difficulty getting my rhythm in, which is a little unfortunate. But this is probably at this point the hardest trick in the run, I would say. No, well, we're going to do hole in one, but...
Yeah.
Or I should say, we are going to try hole in one. The game can say no with that trick.
Yeah, I mean, there are several other ways Glubbers could technically get up to the leaf that do not involve a zombie hover. It is technically possible to get up with chest storage, but unfortunately there is no convenient chest lying around that he could use for that. There's also a glitch he could do called door cancel, which is basically like an extreme version of chest storage where you have basically zero horizontal collision at all, which can be used to get up to the top of the Deku tree. But I do not believe that's something that Glubbers has practiced, so it wouldn't be something that he does here. And it's not something that you do in, like, any category at the moment anyway, I think.
The door cancel leaf?
Yeah.
Door cancel leaf is actually optimal for regular any percent now.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
It's as a result of basically, well, let me continue hovering before I try. Maybe not the greatest thing to try and...
And so up we go. Higher and higher, Link rises up.
Something just feels a little off with my controller position. Trying to get it into a good position here. No.
Yeah, the double thumb mashing is one of those things where, like, sometimes you might just not be feeling it that day for one reason or another.
We're going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to actually stretch so I don't hurt myself doing it, but it could help a lot. No, that was very bad. We're going to have to try again. Unfortunate. So this is a fun little... So how this works, just to explain what is exactly happening here, the idea that Jim was explaining earlier, where we're consecutively mashing the jump attack input over and over and over again, how the game actually reads your inputs. If you notice, while I'm falling, I will rise and then fall and then rise and then fall. The actual idea behind what you're doing is that the inputs of the zombie hover are, because the game polls at 30 frames per second, the game can only read an input for a jump attack every other frame, or it will just register you holding the controller. Now that presents a little bit of a complication for us, because if we go over that point, the game will assume we're holding the controller, or holding the button, and not actually register that we are doing distinct presses. That's kind of what's happening here, unfortunately.
Yeah. Ideally, you would press the B button 15 times a second, alternating between the button being pressed and then unpressed from the game's perspective. But if your rhythm is off, or if like you end up holding the button for too long, then it just gets interpreted as a hold and not individual presses, which then obviously does not result in repetitive jump attacks.
Something is... Come on. Okay. Going to take that off real quick.
I gotta have the
And
big
we're going to
guns.
retry, unfortunately. This is a very interesting thing to have fail. It is relatively consistent. Now, the unfortunate thing is the more I fail, the more I mash. Now that said, we will get through this. There is no fear of the run becoming uncompletable or something. It is just a matter of when I get up there. And we can pass it off to Game and Shout while I work through this.
Got you covered, and you got this. We are not worried at all. Chat is totally behind you here. Donations coming in. I've got $100 from Red Draconi. Thank you all for what you do. Thank you so much for supporting us. $100 as well from Katie. Thanks all for getting this together. Had many friends affected by Helene and Milton as well, which makes me so grateful that my favorite community is doing something for this. Please give this donation to Runner's Choice. I'll donate for Echoes tomorrow. Let's go!
Yeah, definitely donate for Runner's Choice. Will be going towards no pants, because we don't wear pants.
Just very quickly, Glubbers, I'm going to interrupt you here. Do you want a different setup for this trick that does not require as precise mashing?
Do you mean this one? Give it to me.
So it would be targeting the polygon that's left of this one, like one corner over.
Okay.
Yeah, so target this one, side hop, get a little more to the right, and then side hop right once. Let me look at it again here just to be absolutely sure. This is an old setup that I used to use. Side hop back left again. Up against... Okay, yeah, so move Link like half of his body width to the right, or half of his head width to the right. A little bit more. Little more.
Maybe something.
Right, okay, so yeah, there we go. That looks good. So one side hop right, two back flips. Now, before you do this, I'm going to have you place down the bomb and then do a targeted slash.
Okay.
Targeted slash to then begin the zombie hover. Yeah, so this angle is slightly less extreme, going up against the Deku Tree's trunk. So you do not have to mash as fast to go up. It does mean that it is slower than the other one when you do get it, but you should be able to just like single hand mash this one when you get up high enough. Yeah, and make sure you don't go too far to the right either.
Yep. So the funny thing is, it seems like I found my rhythm.
Yeah.
doing a little bit of balancing here. So like we were mentioning before, the game tries to send you off to the side. It's currently trying to send me off to the right, but if I just inch here, my movement to the left will have it trying to inch me off to the... Or my inching makes it go to the left here.
Yeah, I think this should be good if you just mash the rest of the way now.
Oh, no, that might be it. Yeah, unfortunate.
Unfortunate, yeah. But hey, we almost got there.
Yeah, we're progressively getting up there. That is a good little backup. So we will try that again here in just a moment, and I'll hand it off back to Game and Shout so we can get through some more donations.
Absolutely. Thank you again, everyone, for your support coming in here. Lots of no-comment donations, so let me see if I can get caught up a little bit over here. $100 donation from Anonymous with no comment. Thank you very much. $33.33 donation from Anonymous with no comment. Thank you very much again. $25 from Anonymous with no comment. $25 from Geldian with no comment. $10 from Totohahas Jerky Seller with no comment. Thank you for that. $100 from Actually Pretty Happy. I like that username. 10 out of 10. No comment, but thank you again. $25 from JB with no comment. $50 from Tustin2121 with no comment. $8 from Anonymous with no comment. $10 from Pinecone, not Pinecone, Pinecone with no comment. $50 from Dr. Murlock with no comment. And $20 from Anonymous with no comment. Thank you all so much for helping us support Direct Relief and the work that they are doing.
All right, so back to this. Does this look about good to you, Jim?
Yeah, that looks good.
All right, backflip, and then targeted slash.
Yep. Yeah, so, oh.
Yeah.
That's okay. That should still be fine. But yeah, so, the reason I specifically have to tell Glubbers to do a targeted slash is because a targeted slash will actually make Link slash the sword differently from an untargeted slash, and if a bomb is in front of you, that will change the angle that Link then gets knocked back at, which is important when the angle is very important for the zombie hover trick that we're doing here.
I believe that, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's too far to the left.
All right. So we are not locked down here. It may look kind of grim right now. Now that is mostly because this is, well, repeated mashing. Really the best way.
Yeah, the more you do the trick, the more tired you get, and then the harder it becomes to do the trick.
Mm-hmm. So we could go and do the chest storage method. If we don't get it on this attempt, I think we will give that a try. That is not the easiest thing in the world to do, but I have done it before.
It is very goofy.
It is. Because there is a very nice chest that we can grab. It kind of locks us to doing hole in one, though. So we will see that. Let's line up on the edge here. Side hop right, back flip, drop a bomb, target.
And up we go. Link once again on his way to the heavens.
Oh, goodness. All right. Unfortunate. Now, one of these days, I will have my rhythm here. It's a very interesting trick to have this kind of difficulty with. I generally pride myself on my mashing. Now, oh, I said that we were going to do the chest storage method. I did do that. Say that, didn't I? So let us try this. We're going to get storage here. Then we're going to actually need to get double storage. So we're going to store that mailbox text real quick. This storage spot is a little fickle. The storage spot is being a little uncooperative.
Yeah, I think because Beetle's shipped move.
Yeah, let's just save it real quick.
Also, shipped move. That's how that grammar works.
Yes, it is. Jim, do you know much about this setup at all?
I don't think I've ever actually done early leaf with chest storage. I know it involves a lot of jump attacking.
Yes. Now, one of the highlights of it is that the jump attacking that you do is with the A button and requires a much slower mashing rate to actually get up. Now, the position to get where you need to go, that is going to be the part that is the fickle part. Like we said earlier, if you don't get your storage in time, you can just go and get it again. So we're going to do a super swim here. We're going to head down to a raft and grab a chest.
Good old 5-star raft.
And remember, chat, this is why it's always good to know your backups.
Yeah, the chest is located on a raft here, all the way out at the end of 5-star.
Trying to grab this.
And trying to figure out the controls with camera lock active. Always a challenging puzzle.
Always fun. You always end up doing like a side hop or something first. We're gonna head right back to Forest Haven now that we have chest storage. We don't actually need the refill here, but it's a little safer to grab it.
Yep. Oh, hey, you got money.
I did get money. We are doing pretty well on the rupees. Now, I wish I could give that money to the charity, but unfortunately that is in-game money only. Now, if I could climb up, that would be great. You're supposed to be able to... Well, hi. Hop up here. Unfortunate. That did kill our storage, so we have to retry that.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, if you void out with chest storage active, or like if you do a reload in any way, shape, or form, that will get rid of chest storage.
And what we're trying to do there is, what you can do with chest storage is you can clip into geometry at vertices of these faces. If you just do what's called an ESS sidewalk in. So if we haven't really talked about ESS position at all, but it's kind of been important for the super swims. ESS position is basically holding a light position on the control stick. Where, all right, these are going to be interesting controls. I saw my angle there. Where you're holding just a tiny bit in the direction of where you want to go. If you do that, then with chest storage, you can clip right into geometry, which is very nice. And as we saw earlier when I was doing the bomb push clip, we can use it to get up to basically right by where the entrance to Forest Haven is. We're not actually going to enter Forest Haven from the same entrance that we were using earlier because we have chest storage. There is another door that we're going to go into. Go up here, not turn that way.
I mean, the actual like island part of this sector does also work for air refills.
Yes, that it is a very nice spot for that. We'll actually go there just to show what it is. Getting our money again. We should be able to clip into the geometry. Or we can just walk right up onto Beetle. That works too.
Yep. And jump on. There we go.
I want to clip out. There we go. Now, it's very important that we don't hit the load zone here.
Yeah. Yeah, that angle looks good. Camera was a bit funky, but we're fine. Also want to get rid of this octo here, so Glubbers, you can use the shield as well to send the projectile back, or just quick spin, do swag strats.
All right, and then what we're going to try to do is we're trying to get... Oh, we'll actually grab that. We're trying to get Link up onto some collision here. We can go out, maybe. Let's see here. There's a nice little spot that you can clip at here. What was that, Jim?
I was wondering if maybe if you needed to, you could bomb boost over, but I'm not sure. I don't know if the bomb would actually stay active in the water.
The bombs can stay active, like, there.
Yeah.
Which, not quite where we want to be, unfortunately. Is that bad? That is a bad spot, okay.
Probably find Beetle if he's...
Hi, Beetle.
Going around. Hi, Beetle. Eventually, Beetle will start moving again.
Now, we should be able to clip... I'm not super sure about this very awkward spot, but we'll ride the ship around, and Mr. Game & Shout, well, we have some wonderful boat riding to look forward to. We'll pass it off to you.
All right, sounds good. $5 donation I have here from Zora Master 98. I'm donating 5 brains for Zombie Game and Shout. Thank you, Zora Master, and hello to everyone hanging out in the chat. Also have $15 here from Olivia Weirick. Hut 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 yeah hut 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 yeah hut yeah hut 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 yeah hut 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 yeah hut 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 yeah hut 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 yeah.
Very nice.
I think I got him.
That was
there.
very impressive.
I'm so glad I have tea.
Oh, tea sounds wonderful.
Really putting the shout into Mr. Game and Shout there.
Yeah.
It does what it says on the tin, y'all.
Oh, we've got another little bit while we apparently get out of bounds here. Come on. We saw the clip a little bit ago. Are you being a little shy?
And Clip doesn't really want to show its face.
No. We could go for a different clip spot that I'm aware of. Let's do it. I do need to be in the water for it, but there we go.
There we go. That was neat.
Yeah, that is a fun little one where you clip up, but you're not actually over the correct geometry. So you don't clip back onto the island, you clip in.
Yeah. And then the Octo is still away, so we don't have to worry about it.
The idea of what we're trying to do here is we want to get onto, there is a little crevice there we want to get onto. If we can do that, then we are home free.
Yeah, I've never done this before, so I don't know what any of the hues or the nuance of it is.
Maybe not quite. We can also just do the outside hover now that we have 43 rupees.
That is true. You could do the outside hover.
And we're in the water again. Beetle.
Well, I don't know if I'd do the outside hover with chest storage, but
I don't know that I would either. That doesn't sound like a fun time. We will. Let's do that. Let's do the.
well, so you're gonna lose the rupees if you.
If I. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll get the rupees back if you don't do hole in one,
True.
and you do this
that.
instead.
We'll just
Yeah.
do that. All right. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do that same trick that we did earlier. Neat little clip out. And I'm actually going to equip the Tingle Tuner here. The Tingle Tuner is going to be used for, like I mentioned before, we're going to be using it to heal. Now, healing during a zombie hover is very powerful, actually.
Yep.
We'll see that here in a moment. First, we gotta take care of the Octorok. This guy's a bit impolite. But he's gonna help us get down to a corner heart, which is very nice of him.
How he he did the delay thing.
Yes, he did.
Very nice.
All right, so we're going to first talk to the tuner here. We're going to set this up real quick. Now, this is going to be a little bit slower than what we are kind of used to, but it will enable us to get through the run, and that is okay with me. All right. So basically what we want to do here, we want to set up, we're aiming for that up there. So we're going to set up we set up our angle. We're going to set a bomb down. And we're going to basically just wait. Unfortunate.
Yeah, the window for the lift off there can be a little tight, so sometimes you do just kind of end up missing it.
We're going to not save warp. We're actually going to restart from, or we're going to save warp. We're not going to revert to that previous save because that will keep our tuner enabled. So you see we still have the little spot around Link's feet. We'll go back up here, and while we set this back up, we're going to be damaging down Game and Shout. What do you got?
I have a $50 donation from Anonymous. GDQ is always a good time, each year, every year. Here's to more of them speed runs. Thank you so much.
Here,
And
here.
again, chat, thank you all for the amazing energy that y'all have been sending. Y'all are keeping us going here, and we appreciate it so very much. $100 as well from T. Ravenous. Thanks for all you do, GDQ. Faith in humanity maintained. And just a quick reminder, y'all, with those donations, you can be putting them towards some of our open incentives. We still have 2 bid wars open for Octopath Traveler that's going to be coming up after this run. We have the pants or no pants incentive for Suda Regalia coming up after that, and the costume choice for Dead Rising. We've actually had a couple of changes there. I saw it on Mega Man for a minute. Now it's over to Liquor. So, gamesdonequick.com/donate. Keep those donations coming, please.
So now I got the start of the outside hover up here. So the goal with this hover on the outside is that we're going to be hovering up to the platform that you see up there, up and a little bit to the left. The interesting thing is that Glubbers actually does not have to land on the platform. He just has to touch the bottom of it. And then when he heals after touching the bottom of it, the game will actually respawn you back up on top of this platform here if you fall all the way down. It looks like he'll manage to clear the edge. Yeah, okay, so it looks like he's going for the up on top strategy. Now he's going to use the Tingle Tuner to heal himself up here. Tingle Tuner is going to take a little bit of time to actually make it up. And then we will have Link healed up to 3 hearts. Very good. And we're up.
And we are up. All right, and then we're going to do we're just going to aim for a little pod right there. And we're not going to do any shenanigans. This is just, let's just grab the leaf and go. No. There is something that you can do there, and we have the leaf.
Woo! We did it.
That we did. All right, so we're going to save warp now that we have the leaf. And we can go and finish up the run. All right, so what we were showing earlier where we were trying the chest storage route, we're going to use that same chest for chest storage, just so that I get some rupees to finish out my run. Because I do still need the 20 rupees from earlier. So we're just going to get storage here and go straight back to that raft that we saw earlier. And we're going to get to do a fun little swim. And Game Shout, while I set this back up, you got any donations for us?
Absolutely. $10 here from Pumpkin Spice. Glubbers, you've got this. Running Wind Waker is like bonking monsters with a shovel. A little messy, but still pretty fun.
Very true. Thank you, Pumpkin.
Also had a $5 donation from Anonymous with no comment. Thank you for that. And a $25 donation from Anonymous, again, with no comment. Thank you so much for helping us support the charity.
Very awesome. We love to see the support, guys. You guys are amazing, and this is going to a wonderful cause. There is truly so much good to be done by Direct Relief, and thank you guys. It is very, very awesome to see this amount of support. All right, so we're going to grab this chest again.
Once we figure out where the controls are with the camera lock.
Yep. Oh, and now I've targeted, so
there we go. Now we're side hopping, we're rolling, we're back flipping. All right, we're in the water again. Yeah, so as far as like controls with the camera lock go, for some reason when you're on land and you have camera lock, the game will interpret your control stick direction as if, or from where the camera was when you got camera lock. So whatever camera angle that happened to be is the camera angle that the game is interpreting the control stick positions from, which is why it's so hard to move around. Now, conveniently, that does not happen when in water. When in water, you know, you hit left, Link moves left, you hit right, Link moves right, and it just works as you expect. So thankfully, we can still super swim.
Yeah, and so now that we have chest storage here, this brings us over to Thorn Fairy Island, which we're going to do an ESS sidewalk in and just clip right into the geometry, like we were trying to do earlier, trying to go around that hover with the chest storage. We're going to grab the quiver, nice and easy. And we get the Great Fairies in this game, which are probably the most unique model of Great Fairy that they've done. It's four-armed, interesting flower-looking thing. But we do need the quiver. So the reason that we need a quiver, you may be wondering, oh, why do you need so many arrows? We don't actually need so many arrows. It's more that if we have the quiver, the game will assume that we have the bow as well. And so later, what we can do is when we grab the light arrows, if we have the light arrows and we have a quiver, the game will say, yes, you have everything to use the light arrows. And so it will let us use the light arrows despite not actually having... There we go. Not actually having the bow, which is very nice. Lets us skip Tower of the Gods, which is not the easiest thing to get around to. Now, this equip here that we're doing for the tuner, this is going to be where the tech starts to be the new strats that we have in Wind Waker speedrunning, where we get to use the tuner in restricted areas. So what I'm doing there, I'm not actually going to be using the tuner in the overworld anymore. The entire point behind me equipping the tuner there is so that I have it enabled and I leave it enabled for later in the run in restricted areas. So we're going to do a bit of an annoying storage strat here called peg storage, where I'm trying to set up a specific position so I can roll onto the peg, get a drop, and pull out the Wind Waker to get a Wind Waker dive and get storage. It is probably the most specific storage spot that I know of. Jim, you care to?
This spot is very annoying. Because you have to roll up onto the peg and then with a very precise timing press the Wind Waker button before you're in the falling animation, and then like a few frames later press B. There we go.
There we go. And then this is going to be back to that photosensitive warning. We're going to be doing some more super swimming. I'm going to buffer away from the island, though, because I do not want to be near it. Even that is a little bit close.
This should be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I believe we're swimming over to the private oasis now.
Yes, we will be swimming with the
If
private
serves me
oasis.
correctly. Yeah, that's right. So Glubbers is going to do a 2-quadrant super swim here. Yeah, if the ESS is held, looks like it should be okay. Be a little tight. That should be fine. Yep, there we go.
Got back into the water as I was trying to pull out the Wind Waker to cancel it. That was interesting. And so we're going to just do another setup for storage here. We're going to get double storage yet again using my favorite NPC in the game, our gentleman over here named Old Man Ho-Ho. And we will see why he's my favorite NPC in... now. So we're going to get another storage. It's very important that we get it with the first text box of Old Man Ho-Ho here, because we actually have a few inputs that we need to do to get over to the next chest, which we can see up there in the distance. Now, if everything goes right, I actually don't need all that many text boxes, but there is quite a bit of room for things to go wrong. And now we're in the Dark World. Everybody can see Link's eyes.
Ooh! Now we're super swimming in the Dark World.
Mm-hmm.
So it means when Link's eyes are oscillating back and forth weirdly. Yeah, so now we have chest storage, and we are super swimming again. We're going to be super swimming all the way up to the northwestmost quadrant, or excuse me, northwestmost sector of the map, which is the Forsaken Fortress. Now, we don't have enough air to get up there normally from where we currently are, so Glubbers is going to be getting an air refill at the reef here. Thankfully, the shape of reefs makes it pretty easy to get an air refill on them because they are just slightly tilted from being vertical. So we got the air refill there, and now we should definitely have enough air to make it to the Forsaken Fortress sector.
We're just going to go around here. We should have plenty of air for this.
Yeah, if you need more air, you can brush up against Mother and Child.
Mm-hmm. But it looks like we are A-okay.
Yeah, so we're going to be using the chest storage here to climb up and into Forsaken Fortress.
So
Glubbers is going to pull out the Wind Waker to cancel the camera lock and is then going to be clipping through the rocks here. And then using our chest storage, we were just going to kind of climb up the edge of the walls here to get up and into the loading zone where the Helmrock King is. And this is going to be our tickets to Hyrule and to the end of the game.
Yep. And we have spider link climbing here. Some of you who may be paying as much attention as I am to the screen will be the astute viewers that notice the game is lagging a lot.
Yep.
That is weirdly mostly in part due to the tuner. The game does get laggy as you load more sectors of the map and get over to Forsaken Fortress. Forsaken Fortress itself has a lot of things that cause lag. It has those searchlights that we saw earlier in the game. But interestingly, the thing that puts the game over the limit is that tuner being activated. Whatever it is with the game, it takes a lot of the resources for the game to get that tuner there, and it becomes quite a bit chunkier of a game. You know, you like your chocolate chip cookies, and this is like a triple chocolate chunk. But now we're in the Forsaken Fortress 2 cutscene. We've got a little bit before we do Helmrock skip. We'll pass it over to Game and Shout for some donations.
I got you covered. Let's do a $50 donation here from Edward Malice. I first got into GDQ during the Hurricane Sandy-thon in late 2012. 12 years later, GDQ is still here and still doing good for worthy causes, and still putting up excellent entertainment. Thank you, GDQ, and everyone who supports it.
Wonderful. We've got time for a few more.
Sounds good. I've also got... I don't understand this reference, but sure, $10 here from On My Lunch. Hot dogs up. Chat, if you know what that means, please send it my way. And also send some donations my way. And while you're at it, please continue to help us move the needle on these bid wars we've got open. Again, we've got the character choice and language choice incentive for Octopath Traveler 2. Those will close at the start of that game. So, gamesdonequick.com/donate. If you would like to have an impact on how that run shapes up, please keep those donations coming in. Also, the obligatory pants check. No Pants is still leading for Pseudo Regalia later. $165 to $25. So, again, thank you everyone for clarifying your stance on pants.
Yeah, we do not.
This isn't a very
pants.
important stance to clarify.
It is.
I don't think it's ever been ambiguous, but I just want to, call out. We are definitely getting the message there.
All right, so coming up here, we have the Helmrock King battle. So we do not, or we actually cannot beat the Helmrock King right now because we do not have the Skull Hammer, which is required to deal damage to the Helmrock King. But one special thing about the Helmrock King fight is that you do not, the Helmrock King boss does not work such that you beat the boss and then, the portal to the next area opens up. The loading zone to the next area is just always active, so instead we're going to see Glubbers do Helmrock skip here by clipping out of bounds and just skipping past the fight entirely. He's going to leaf around the Helmrock King just like that. There's no collision on the side, you can just leaf around. And then he's going to be doing he's going to be damaging down here, getting down to a heart and a half, which is where Link begins doing his hard breathing animation to show that he's tired, because that actually does change Link's hitbox, and it makes this clip right here very easy to do that Glubbers just did. Otherwise, the clip becomes frame perfect if Link's health is higher.
Yep, and so
yeah.
very easy trick, and we get to touch the door here, and that is Helm Rock King skipped as we fade out. So, coming in here, we've got the going down to Hyrule cutscene, where Ganondorf is going to... Link tries to challenge Ganondorf. Presumably this is after you have the Master Sword the first time. The game assigns us the Master Sword early enough, just arbitrarily. Link actually isn't strong enough. It's not a fully charged Master Sword, so there's not really anything that we can do here. And we're going to need to be saved by some friends that we've never met before. And unfortunately, we will have to be calling the run here. I took a little bit too long on that leaf segment. That was a little bit of an unfortunate sequence to have happen there. So unfortunately, we will not be able to be finishing the run. That will be the time that we call here. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the ability to show off the run. It's unfortunate how it turned out, but that is sometimes how it goes.
Yeah, Wind Waker is a very difficult game, so this stuff does just happen sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and so again, like I said at the beginning, my name is Glubbers. I do a lot of 3D Zelda runs, including Wind Waker. Normally, that hover is something that doesn't trouble me all that much, but if you are interested at all in what I do, you can follow me at The Glubbers on Twitch and at C Glubbers on Twitter if you're interested in that. Jim, you want to do a quick sign off yourself?
Yeah, I'm Gymnast. You can Google me. See ya.
Fair enough.